Welcome to Andy's Garage. I'm Andy Phillips. Today we're back here just taking a look at the Countach project. Haven't done a lot with it in a while, so I just wanted to do a video kind of showing where we're at and what's left to come. But I wanted to pull it outside in the sunlight so you can see the paint that was done in the last video. Let's go ahead and get started. We'll pop the other door open so we can see the whole thing out here. It's been cooped up in the garage most of the time. So this is the first time that we have it completely out here since it's been painted to look at it. So what I wanted to do is just take some time, show the paint. It's not done, still need to do a top coat and the final clear coat, so it's still a little bit has an orange peel, but you get a good look at it, and then just cover what's the game plan for the last few things. The goal is to have it done this year, inspected and on the road. So we're gonna go around and take a look at it. So taking a look at it, you can see the paint looks a lot better than the primer that was on it in the other videos. Just need to give the final coat, get it nice and smooth, and then we're going to spray the clear coat nice and thick. It'll be beautiful. And then do all the black accents like around the handles. These glass panels right here, obviously this is just, I just threw these in as placeholders, but the real ones are going to be put in. All the black trim and vents and windows, all that'll be put in. The weather stripping, it'll look great. But just wanted to take a look starting here on this side here. Right here I have Pirelli P7s. Now these are 305s because these are the rally racing tires. I need the street version, which are the 345s that the real Countach had. So once the car is done, I'm going to get the actual rims, the little five-hole, the rotary phone style rims that the Countach has had. We'll get the right Pirellis on there. So that'll be roughly about an inch all around wider, which will take the rear end up just a little bit more. But if we come down here on the front end, these obviously need the Countach rims as well. However, the fronts need to be lowered. The front here on the passenger side is only about an inch too high. On the driver's side, it's about 2 inches too high. So going to get the suspension lowered so that way it's the right ground clearance here. Usually they're around 4.8, 4.9 inches. This one here is about almost 6 inches, so we need to get that down. If you want to see a video that I did do with a real Lamborghini Countach, a QV, I saw that at an exotic car dealership, did an overview on it. You can check it out via the link above. I'll also have it down in the description, and I kind of go over some of the specs on there, and you can kind of see the difference between this replica and the real one. So that needs to be done. Another thing here, and I'll get a close-up, you can see what I've got going on inside the car here, but some modifications need to happen. Let's take a look. Looking in here, I have an old glove box from a Jeep YJ that I'm going to put right in here because this doesn't have a glove box. The real Countach has had a very small one, and the YJ, you can see there, I'm going to have to modify a little bit thinner, but it looks similar to the real Countach ones where we're just kind of flat, so that'll be put in there. Got the headlights there for the pop-up headlights. I have a friend of mine, Frank Sanchez, a former NASCAR driver, still an active race car driver, has an awesome car collection. He gave me the vents for the brakes. So we're going to put those in for the air intake to cool the brakes. Even though this car isn't going to be going that fast, I'm probably going to put them on anyway just to be like the original one. But if you want to see the video that I did checking out some of his stuff, and also was at a SCCA race that he was in, you can check it out via the link above. I'll also have different links down in the description for that. Other than that, the inside's in pretty decent shape already. I already did work to the interior on the earlier videos following this restoration project. So just needs to be cleaned out real good. I had the leather all conditioned and beautiful at one time, but then doing more work, it's gotten all dusty and dried up. So just need to do all that, get the mats in here as well. There's some damage, and let's head over to the driver's side. I'll show you. Right here, there was some damage to the seat that I kind of patched on my own. Didn't turn out too well. So once we're done with everything, I'm thinking about having this reupholstered with that burgundy leather, that section right there to match it. I don't want to change the interior at all because even though it doesn't look like a real Countach looked on the interior, as you can see right here, it's all stitched leather. And to be honest, I like the color. I like the way that they designed it, so I'm going to leave that alone. I'm planning on doing the center console. You can see how you've got a panel back there to get to the ECU, because this is a Pontiac Fiero that had a modified frame is what this is on, but it's all drivetrain and powertrain is Pontiac Fiero. So you have the ECU under there. I'm just going to do one whole piece like on a real Countach as seen here. And that'll look a lot better because I'll be able to come up here and then angle it a little more bulky right there. So that's really the main project going on for the inside. And I apologize now, it's a windy day, so the wind might be hitting the microphone, so you're going to hear some of the picking up of all the wind noise, so I apologize in advance for that. But let's keep looking around here. Let's come on this side, I'll show you some stuff over here. Same as we saw on the other side, obviously, the rims and all that stuff. But you can see here, because this side, for whatever reason, the suspension's all whacked out on this, you can see how high that is, way too high, the ground clearance here. So as we mentioned earlier, this one's going to be dropped about 2 inches on this side. That'll take care of that. Do have the side markers, still need to put those in. We'll wait until we're done with paint, put those in. They're going to be popped out more. The company that built this replica, they had them recessed to look more sleek, but the real ones, they were popped out, so we're going to make them look more like the real ones on that. Right back here, have to put the expanded metal mesh right here for the intake here. The vents go back in here. We have one of our air intakes right here, and then I have a vent that goes in there. One of the things that's wrong with this car compared to the real one, they have the gas cap here. Normally it's on the inside right here of this vent as shown here. So I'm going to leave it though, it doesn't bother me. So that's staying put like that. Let's head around to the front. I'll show you some things that are on the front that need to be done as well. First thing is the pop-up headlights right here. So those are all put in, they're on the hinges. This needs to be painted black. The lights need to be put back in, need to wire up the high beams and low beams to go in there, and then just need to install the motors for the pop-up headlights. So that's definitely something that has to be done. We have this piece here where I need to make the clear film that goes on top, and then we have the lights that go in there, and those are for your signal lights, and then you also have little marker lights that go there. Here on the front, the former owner, and if you've been following this project, you've heard me talk about this before, but he had damaged the scoop that goes on the bottom, or the spoiler, so I need to remake that. I was trying to buy a real one. They're too expensive. They're like $400 to $1,000, and I'm not going to do that. So I may just make it out of polycarbonate and fiberglass. So that'll come down, and that will also hide. I have the radiator in the front. The real one has 2 small ones on the sides. This one has it in the front right here. So the radiator bracket that holds it is hanging down, so that scoop will hide that and also protect that as well. So that's it right here for the front. Now also on the windshield, this windshield, the specs are a little off. Let's take a look. The upper part is 100% on point. Lower part is close, but right here, the windshield should come all the way to here. Right now you have these pillars that are silver, but the windshield should go over the pillars, not up to them, and then it comes roughly down about here. So once this is done, we're going to take the weather stripping to accommodate for that and go a little wider out to accentuate more accurately the scale of the windshield, and that will help with the proportions when you're looking at it from the front. Let me show you. You're looking at it right there. The windshield's too narrow. The windshield should go all the way up to the doors. Now coming along here to the back. The back on this vehicle is actually pretty decent. I had to remake this whole framing around the lights and add this centerpiece where the emblems and all go. If you want to see the video where I rebuilt the whole back end, because the original one was way off, you can check it out via the link above. Also have it down in the description. But right along in here, and I'll get a close-up, all that in there. Not to mention, this is going to be shaped a little bit better as well once it's finished. All that is going to be sealed with a black rubber weather stripping, so you won't see all that raw, unfinished stuff in there. In here around the exhaust, and I'll get a close-up here, we'll take a look at it. This has all been done, but we still need to put a framing so you don't have that gap in there. There's a frame that's going to go in here to seal all that up real good. But those are all the things that need to be done here on the back end. And then there's one thing about this vehicle that always bothered me, and you should be able to see it, but you'll see there's a little bump right here because they have this, I don't know, it looked like they were trying to copy the periscope of the early LP 400s, so it has that indentation, but as a result, it's taken away from the sleekness. The real Countach goes straight back on an angle. This has a little bit of that bump before it goes back. You got to really look at it from the side to see it, but it just bothers me. Nothing I can do about that, unfortunately. Another thing I wanted to show you is the engine cover area back here. On a real Countach, it's split into two pieces. You have the piece that goes above the engine, then you have the spoiler, which is on the kind of the trunk piece. It has a trunk in the back. Now, because of this being built on a Pontiac Fiero, I also have the mid-engine in the trunk. It's just all pushed forward because this car has a second frame that was added to the General Motors K-frame. So the real Fiero frame ended like around here somewhere. But in order to accommodate, because this kit that you could buy as a kit car from the company, or you could get a turnkey replica. This was one of their turnkey replicas, but it's the same body that their kits were. It's right to scale with the real Countach. So width, height, length, all that is right on point. The area where it is off is here on the wheel, is on the wheelbase right here. The wheelbase is still the Pontiac Fiero, so it's 3 inches too short. Now, some replicas or kit cars, what they'll do is they'll just shorten the body 3 inches to keep the proportion of the rear overhang from the rear wheel to the back. This company, and I like what they did, they didn't do it. So my rear overhang is 3 inches longer, but at least the proportions of the body are right on point. It's just the wheelbase you can obviously see is a little too short. But what I wanted to talk about is on this one here, this is all one piece. So this whole thing goes up, and then you have your, the Fiero engine, which this one has a Jasper engine that was, it's still the 2.8 liter V6 that the Fieros had, but it's a Jasper engine, not the General Motors, and it has the trunk, but that's the main difference here in the back. So you still need to add the hinge to that, but as a result, you can see my wing is a little bit further in. It should probably come back about an inch or two further because the real ones are mounted on the trunk, but this spot here, I don't have anything here. This is just body because of the framing. So that's it here with that. I need to add the hinges on with that. If I close the doors, I want to show you. Now the doors are out of alignment because I just threw them on there real quick in between paint to store it for the winter. So they're not lining up right and they're not latching properly. Normally they would be lined up perfect, but I just wanted to show you the height. I'm not a tall person, I'm only 5'8", but you can see the roof of the car is right here on me. The height right now is right on point. I think it's like 41.5 inches or just around 42, which is the perfect height. Now once we lower the front, that's going to adjust it here, obviously, but then the back's going to go up a little bit, so it'll still keep it in balance. So height-wise, this is right on point. It's actually a cool car, even though it's not a real one. It's still just fun to be in, sit very low. Can't wait to get it on the road, get it tagged, so we can actually take it out and drive it. But that's it for this video. I just wanted to kind of show where we're at, getting ready to pick back up with it now that, as you can see, the warmer weather's here because my garage is not climate controlled. So we had it kind of sitting dormant for the winter. So the main things are get the top coat of paint done. Well, you need to sand it down with like an 800 or 1,000 grit sandpaper just to get it nice and smooth to receive the final coat of paint. Give maybe about 3 or 4 coats of paint on it, and then I need to do the clear coat on it. To wrap that up, then just get the suspension under control as we talked about. Also want to reduce some other parts of the suspension that are kind of dry rotted and worn out. I want to redo the brakes on it, put the pop-up headlight motors in it, and then just need to rebuild the EGR system on it. I need to rebuild the EGR solenoid, replace the EGR valve, and the idle air control valve needs to be replaced. The one on there is just not performing right, and then we can get it to be inspected, get the tags on it, and get it on the road. So I hope this video was informative for you. Just want to do a quick video just kind of showing where we're at. I haven't done one with the Countach in a while. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, send me any comments. I would love to hear from you. As always, I appreciate all the support. So please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you next time.